I've been doing a case by case comparison of the Nolan Wells case and other cases that's similar, and this is what I found. It led me to a case called Luke Homan. Lucas Homan was a basketball player and he drowned under suspicious circumstances. He also had wounds to his head, different things like that. And he was supposed to be in the water for 3 days. And remember, Nolan was supposed to be in the water for 2 days. But this is what happened in Lucas's case, right? It said his death was ultimately ruled an accidental drowning, and an autopsy report noted acute alcohol intoxication was a major contributing factor. Police reported that Luke had various wounds on his head, arms, and hands, which they concluded were travel abrasions that his body sustained while moving through water. Now, Luke was found in the Mississippi River, right? And Nolan was found in the Mississippi Sound. If Nolan and Luke were both in the water for at least 40 plus hours, at least 40 plus hours or more, and they've already ruled that Luke's case is that he had travel abrasions from being in the water, then when I looked at the second autopsy report, it made me wonder, why didn't Nolan have these same travel abrasions if he was in the water as long as they say he was? So now, when we look at the second autopsy's findings, okay, when we look at it, you look at all the number twos, it will say no evidence of deep tissue injury, no evidence of deep tissue injury, no evidence of deep tissue injury, right? Even though we understand that the autopsy was done 3 days after the first initial autopsy was right after the day that he was found, which was the 7th, was the first autopsy. The body's decomposing more, so it makes certain bruising and abrasions could be obscure, right? Another thing that stood out from the very beginning is that the MDMR report came out to say that he was drinking heavy. His alcohol intake was heavy, all right? One of the next things that stood out, right, is we go into the alcohol now, right? So think about this. This guy, this is from the K's and Navy's report. This is the geospatial timeline, Nolan Wells, right? So now, look, as you can see, this guy, Matthew Lamp, came out to say, listen, one of my passengers is pretty certain that he was a part of the group that was almost fighting around 5 p.m., around 5 p.m., okay? The Bertram with the blue top that I posted left shortly after that and pretty fast. Now, this is the woman, Melissa, that was on the Bertram boat. She comes to combat what he was saying, to say, Matthew Lamp, sir, you are sadly mistaken. We are the group that you yelled at. And look, you can read for yourself what she's saying, right? Cool. But look what she says with a heart attack. She says, totally different kid was with us. I was with the Bertram. But now look at what I've highlighted. She said, we did speak to the boys. And at that moment, y'all, listen, he did have an entire bottle of vodka in his hand. Now, this is also from the geospatial timeline. We understand that everybody's drinking. Even those people in the water got drinks like this in their hands, all right? So even if he is the person that they're talking about that had the entire vodka bottle in his hand, why did he stand out like that? He could have been pouring a cup and passing the bottle to someone. Is he downing the bottle? Why is that a big thing, right? That he is drinking, right? They can time exactly that the he, if this is the he that they're talking about, right? Because Nolan Wells is what's in question. This is the he that we're talking about. Now, Luke's family they to try to do their own investigations and all things like that. But what they figure out is that this is what they feel, just from my findings of what I've found and researched. They feel that Luke's body wasn't in the water for only about 3 to 12 hours, they believe. They don't believe that he was in the water as long as they say he was. But if that's the case, and Nolan was in the water for at least a couple of days, right? Then why wouldn't he have any abrasions, at least visible abrasions and bruises for being in the water that long? It's just crazy. This is from a lot of the cases that I've seen, and all of the cases, a lot of them, at least majority of the cases, were ruled acute alcohol intoxication, accidental drowning, or accidental cold water drowning. You know what I mean? And it's not just about a skin color. You know what I mean? This is just what I've seen, just from research. Listen, man, and this is all alleged, man. This is all alleged. But my question to you is, was this the answer all along?